speaker, Dr. Nirja Saraswat, Assistant Professor, Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, MNIT Jaipur. She has a current affiliation with the Malviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur. Dr. Nirja Saraswat holds an experience of more than 20 years in teaching and administration, a postgraduate from University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. She completed her PhD under the guidance of Professor Nupur Tandon, MNIT Jaipur. Ma'am cleared SLAT in 2001. With her métier in debate and essay writing competitions, she has awarded several forums. Her credentials include Rashtrapati Guide Award and Sahitya Academy Award in essay writing competition. She has presented her research paper in several national and international conferences and has more than 17 research papers in journal of repute to her credit. She has also been an examiner and paper setter. She has been serving as assistant professor in Department of Humanities and Social Sciences at Malviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur from February 2019. She has completed a project entitled Industry Oriented Communication Training Pitfalls and Prospect in Context of to Engineering Graduates of Rajasthan in 2020. She has also been granted a patent on method of misinfodemic mitigation using truthful information curation through cognitive security tools by Commissioner of Patent IP Australia, Australian government in 2021. Currently, ma'am is working on a project entitled Technology Dissemination through massive open online courses for skill development and supporting higher education with advanced learning analytics for effective teaching. I welcome you, ma'am. Please continue.
Yeah, thank you, Divya, for such an elaborate introduction. I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. There were several people who were raising their hands. I would just like to inquire, would they like to ask a question? Om Prakash has raised his hand and there are several others also. I'm just wondering, do you have a question to be asked?
Ma'am, they are saying hello.
Okay, fine, fine. Hello to everybody. And I'm feeling quite elated to be a part of this research scholars conclave, I should say, because you all come from diverse fields. So definitely it will be an enriching experience for you as well as for me, right? And we will try to keep the session very interactive. It has several worksheets also, so I would be needing even your involvement. Okay, so with this note, I proceed with my PPT and I would love to share. Just let me know whenever it gets visible. Yeah, let me present it. Give me a minute, please. Yes, hopefully it should be visible now.
Yes, ma'am.
No, still not. If I go for entire screen, is it visible now?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now is it visible?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Then give me a minute. I don't know why this tab is not getting visible. So, yeah, hopefully it should be visible now. Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I make it full screen and hopefully it should be visible. Yeah, is it visible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so see, before we proceed further, here is an interesting situation for all of you, and I'll get back to you as to what you understand with this particular situation. Okay, so here is some conversation which is going on between a judge and a woman. And the judge is interviewing this woman regarding her pending divorce and asks, what are the grounds for your divorce? I want everybody to have a look at it and I want everybody to listen it properly. What are the grounds for your divorce? The judge happens to ask the lady. She replied, about 4 acres and a nice little home in the middle of the property with a stream running by. I hope you can understand. He was asking about the ground and she responds in this manner. Just continues with his question and he said, no, I mean, what is the foundation of this case? Again, the lady replies and she says, it is made of concrete, brick and mortar. I hope you understand the things. He continued, again just started asking the question and he said, I mean, what are your relations like? And probably you understand that he was talking about the relationship between the lady and the husband. But again, the lady responds and she says, I have an uncle and aunt living here in town, and so do my husband's parents. She replied. Still, the conversation goes on, and I want you to again ponder over it. The judge again asks, do you have a real grudge? And I hope you understand, grudge is basically the complaint, the grievance. So again, the lady replied and she said, no, we have a 2-car carport and have never really needed one. He tried again, just again tried. Please, is there any infidelity in your marriage? Maybe your husband is cheating you. The lady again replies and she says, yes, both my son and daughter have stereo sets. We don't necessarily like the music, but the answer to your question is yes. The judge again kept asking question and he asked, Ma'am, does he ever beat you up? Yes, she responded, about twice a week. He gets up earlier than I do. Finally, in frustration, the judge asked, lady, why do you want a divorce? So the lady replies and she says, I've never wanted a divorce. My husband does. He says he can't communicate with me. So I would love to listen it from you all. What have you been able to understand with this incident? It's a hilarious incident and I hope you might have been able to gain and grasp the sense of it. So anybody who would love to share, what have you been able to understand with the same situation? What is going on here? Anyone can respond, please. Hello, am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what do you grab of it?
A husband said that he can't communicate easily, so did the judge. He wasn't able to communicate with the lady.
Okay, fine. Fine.
Yes, considering something else.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank
Ma'am,
you so much.
में
Yeah.
समझा
Sorry.
मैम प्लीज हिंदी का यूज कीजिए
अच्छा ओके। देखिए यहाँ पे एक सिचुएशन छोटी सी आपको बताई गई है जिसमें कि एक जज जो है वो लेडी से क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं और अगर आप इन क्वेश्चंस को देखेंगे तो आपको लगेगा कि बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस में जैसे वो जब ग्राउंड की बात कर रहा है तो लेडी, अगर आप इससे पहले वाली जो स्लाइड है वहां वो पूछ रहा है कि आपका ग्राउंड क्या है डिवोर्स, आप क्यों डिवोर्स का ग्राउंड क्या है, क्यों आपको डिवोर्स दिया जाए। सो शी रिप्लाइज, वो जब ग्राउंड की बात करते हैं तो लेडी कहती है 4 acres and a nice little home in the middle of the property, which is not the right answer. He was asking about the ground for the divorce, reason क्या है डिवोर्स का, which the lady doesn't come up with. फिर जब फाउंडेशन की बात आती है तो he was talking about the foundation of divorce, right? Whereas lady replies कि इसका जो फाउंडेशन है वो कंक्रीट का बना हुआ है, ब्रिक का बना हुआ है. So every time the lady is not answering incorrectly, but she is unable to understand the proper context, right? और end में जाकर के वो कहती है कि the problem is that my husband says that he is not able to communicate with me, because just जो भी सवाल पूछ रहे हैं उसका अगर आप देखेंगे तो वो लेडी कुछ अलग ही आंसर कर रही है, राइट? जैसे जज पूछ रहे हैं कि क्या आपके हस्बैंड आपको पीटते हैं, तो लेडी कहती है कि हाँ, हफ्ते में 2 बार वो मेरे से पहले उठ जाते हैं, राइट? सो दैट वे इवन द हस्बैंड इज सुपरसीडिंग वुमन, बट दैट इज नॉट द राइट आंसर व्हिच द लेडी कम्स अप विद. Am I making myself understandable? Because thoda sa Google Meet में this is always a question. Are you there with me? Have you been able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Divya, just one question. Do I need to be bilingual? Because there was somebody who requested me to maybe explain the things in Hindi as well.
यस मैम,
Yes, ma'am. Bilingual.
हिंदी में बोलना होगा
Okay.
मैम तो.
Okay, fine. That's completely okay. That's completely okay.
Thank you.
Right. So, see, today I hope all of you are aware that we are going to talk about this mechanics of writing. Now, see, when we talk in terms of communication, be it spoken communication or written communication, हम जो हमारा मौखिक संवाद है या जो हमारा लिखित संवाद है, दोनों में ही हमें ऑडियंस तक पहुंचना होता है या हमारे रीडर तक पहुंचना होता है. If I talk about this written communication, I believe this is more important even as compared to spoken communication. Because unless spoken communication is getting recorded, it doesn't last for long. कोई भी जो मौखिक संवाद कर रहा है वो बहुत ज्यादा लंबे समय तक नहीं चलता. But anything which is written is always serving the purpose. It is always, the person can always refer back to the same at a later stage. And therefore, written communication is always more important. आपने अगर spoken आपका जो communication है, जो आपका मौखिक संवाद है, अगर उसमें आपने कोई गलती भी कर दी तो वो हो सकता है आपको excuse कर दिया जाए, because that is part of your oral communication, right? And nobody is writing it at that very moment, right? Whereas whatever you are writing, that is going to sustain for a very long time. And therefore, there are certain rules as far as this mechanics of writing is concerned, which serve the purpose for us. आपकी जो मैकेनिक्स ऑफ राइटिंग है उसको लेकर के कुछ कन्वेंशंस हैं, कुछ सेट कन्वेंशंस हैं, कुछ सेट रूल्स हैं जो आपकी राइटिंग को प्रॉपर बनाते हैं और अच्छा बनाते हैं. सो इफ वी ऑब्जर्व ऑल दोज कन्वेंशंस, आवर राइटिंग डेफिनेटली गेट्स बेटर. हमारी जो राइटिंग है वो डेफिनेटली अच्छी बन पाती है. So today we are going to uncover the same aspect. I won't say cover, I would say uncover. We are going to uncover the same aspect. So what is mechanics? Mechanics is basically rules. As I said, set conventions है. Punctuation को लेकर के, I hope you understand what is punctuation, and spelling. And it also includes how to write concisely. ब्रीफ में कैसे लिखा जाए, कम शब्दों में अपने विचारों को कैसे व्यक्त किया जाए, वो भी आपका मैकेनिक्स ऑफ राइटिंग में शामिल होता है. So today, an understanding of both grammar is also very important, and mechanics, those set conventions which have been established by some of the people, that is very much needed to clearly communicate ideas. तो हम इन दोनों चीजों पे विचार करेंगे. आज हम पंक्चुएशन के बारे में पढ़ेंगे और साथ ही साथ हम हाउ टू राइट कंसाइसली, हम संक्षिप्त में कैसे चीजों को लिख सकते हैं वो भी हम जानेंगे. Before I proceed further, let me ask, is everybody comfortable? आप सब कंफर्टेबल हैं?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So see, in punctuation, we are going to cover primarily just 4 kinds of punctuation or 4 types of punctuation, because if I talk in terms of research papers, then these are generally the punctuations which are used and with which we generally commit a mistake. We generally do blunders with them. हम कॉमा के बारे में बात करेंगे, हम सेमीकोलन के बारे में बात करेंगे, उसको कहाँ यूज किया जाए, हम कोटेशन मार्क्स के बारे में भी बात करेंगे और हम अपॉस्ट्रोफी की भी बात करेंगे. हम कॉमा पे बात करें उससे पहले आइए जरा सा ये हम कुछ कहना चाहिए मीम्स कह लूं या कुछ पोस्टर्स कह लूं या कुछ मैसेज कह लूं. आप एक बार सारे इन पोस्टर्स को ध्यान से देखिए and try to find out the error with them. Read the first one. All those out there that like to cook and eat my wife just made a new blog at so and so. Check it out, tell everyone. Now see, what is the problem with it? क्या आपको समझ में आ रहा है इसमें क्या मिस्टेक हुआ है?
जी मैम. Eat my wife.
Right. So perhaps
Yes,
first
ma'am.
I to say that my wife has created a new blog और उसका एड्रेस भी उन्होंने दिया है, right? But I believe it is the elimination of comma. अगर उन्होंने comma बीच में ईट के बाद में नहीं लगाया तो मीनिंग होगा कि जो जो मेरी पत्नी को खाना चाहते हैं उसके बारे में कुछ ब्लॉग आ गया है, राइट, विच इज टोटली आई शुड से mismatch of meaning. The person doesn't want to convey the same. Similarly, if you have a look at the second one, which begins with hunters. Hunters, please use caution when hunting pedestrians using walk trails. Anyone who can point out the error with it? आप इसकी, yes.
Please use caution when hunting pedestrian using walk trails.
So where should I apply a comma?
Hunting and pedestrian.
Former pedestrians.
Okay. Okay, so before pedestrian, definitely we will have to put a comma. Whereas right now the meaning is pedestrians को जो भी hunt कर रहे हैं उन्हें caution बरतना चाहिए. Whereas the person doesn't want to say that, right? So again the comma has been eliminated, and that is creating again, I should say, more trouble with the meaning. And the next one is quite clear. Let's eat grandma. And let's eat, comma, grandma. So undoubtedly punctuation is saving more and more lives. The next one where the mother is after the kids and time to eat children. So perhaps there should again be a comma after eat, time to eat, comma, children, because she's chasing her children, and nowadays you can find all modern mothers doing it, जहां वो बच्चों के पीछे पड़ी रहती हैं. So after eat, there should have been a comma which have been eliminated, and you can have a look how this changes entirely the meaning of the sentence. We are going to learn to cut and paste kids. So what should be the right version of it? Where should I place a comma? Anyone who would like to answer? कहाँ comma लगाना चाहिए मुझे?
Ma'am, after paste.
After paste, definitely, right? Whereas right now the meaning will be कि हम बच्चों को काटना और उनको paste करना सीखेंगे, right? So commas definitely matter. Now let's understand where should I use comma, because at times I get confused. मुझे बहुत बार problem होती है कि मुझे comma यहाँ use करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए. कई बार जहाँ जरूरत होती है वहां मैं comma use करना भूल जाती हूँ, और कई बार जहाँ जरूरत है वहां मैं comma ज्यादा बार लगा देती हूँ, जहां जरूरत नहीं है वहां भी लगा देती हूँ. So where should I be using comma? So first rule is use a comma after introductory elements जिनसे sentence शुरू हो रहा है, such as well, yes, wow, good grief, or no when the begin a sentence, right? So suppose if I say no, I haven't yet begun my lecture. Suppose if the Directorate of Research happens to ask me, have you started with your lecture? So I would respond, yes, comma, I have started my lecture. Yes, I have started my interaction. So just after yes, because it is in the very beginning of the sentence, I'll have to put a comma in order to separate my later version, in order to separate my later sentence. Use a comma also after an introductory adverb clause. अब ये adverb clause क्या है? Adverb basically verb के बारे में हमें कुछ और बताते हैं. Sometimes time, place, manner, or degree of an activity. So suppose if I say after we claim our first victory, I cannot go on in continuation. I'll have to break the sentence. I'll have to apply a comma here. After we claim our first victory, we plan to celebrate at the Pizza Hut. So जब हमारी पहली जीत हो जाएगी उसके बाद में हमारा क्या प्लान है कि हम पिज्जा हट में जाकर के कुछ खाएंगे, राइट? सो आफ्टर विक्ट्री डेफिनेटली आई विल हैव टू प्लेस अ कॉमा. दैट इज वेरी मच नीडेड. विदाउट इट द मीनिंग विल नॉट बी क्लियर. Third use of comma may be use a comma to set off expressions that interrupt. So if any kind of interruption is there, before that also I'll have to put a comma. So suppose if mother happens to call you, अगर आपकी माँ आपको आवाज दे रही है तो आपको response में कहना पड़ेगा did you call me and then comma mother. Okay, only then the meaning is going to be clear. So here are three usage of comma, but that continues. So let's have a look at the more usage of comma. Fourth one can be use commas to set off parenthetical expressions. अब ये parenthetical expressions क्या हैं? जिन्हें कई बार sentence में या क्लॉज आप इसे कह सकते हैं, जो कि हम किसी सेंटेंस में डालते हैं, ये सेंटेंस के मीनिंग को ऐड करने में मदद नहीं करते और इसीलिए हमें पैरेंथेटिकल एक्सप्रेशंस के साथ में भी हमें कॉमा यूज करना पड़ता है. So what is a parenthetical expression? It is the one that is used to extend the meaning of a word or phrase, but is not one of the main parts of the sentence. अगर आप उसे हटा भी देंगे, तो भी आपके sentence पे कुछ बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. The sentence makes sense without even this parenthetical expression also. So suppose if I say, you are, I hope, planning to attend the session. Now, what is the parenthetical expression in this sentence? Can anybody come up with an answer?
I hope.
I hope, definitely. So suppose even if I eliminate this section, अगर मैं I hope इसमें से हटा भी देती हूँ, तो भी sentence होगा, you are planning to attend the session, which is equally valid, which is equally complete sentence, which is the right sentence. Okay. So I hope is the parenthetical expression there, but definitely I'll have to use a comma after are and after hope, so that it may be clear to my reader that I have used a parenthetical expression here. You are, I hope, planning to attend the session. Fifth one usage, which is very common, with which all of us are aware, that we use commas to separate words in a series. जब तक आपके पास दो शब्द हैं, तब तक आपको comma use करने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप उसे and का use करके sentence बना सकते हैं. जैसे कि अगर मैं कहूँ, the session was attended by Divya and Deepak. The session was also attended by Sudesh and Pragya, who are all present here. The session was attended by Mohammad Rashid and Narendra. The session was attended by Nikita and Prerna. But suppose if there are more than two people, then definitely I'll have to use commas. So suppose if I say, the session was attended by Divya, comma, Deepak, comma, and Sudesh or Sandesh, right? So I'll have to use a comma here. So there must be three or more words, phrases in order to use commas. As you can see in the last sentence, I went to the store because we needed pens, comma, pencils, comma, and paper. Now, at times, students happen to forget comma after pencils, after our second mentioned noun. Whereas we should remember that even we are supposed to use a comma here. Is everybody comfortable up to this part? सबको ठीक लग रहा है? अगर आपको कुछ changes चाहिए या कुछ, if there are any suggestions, I would love to listen your suggestions. Is everyone comfortable?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I can't see you, unfortunately, with this Google Meet, I can't have a look at you. So I'll have to just rely on whatever you say. The next one important principle of using this comma is keeping in mind this fanboys. Now, what is this fanboys? Fanboys are basically coordinating conjunction है. Conjunction को शायद हम समुच्चय बोधक कहेंगे हिंदी में. तो ये fanboys हैं क्या? F stands for, A stands for and, N stands for nor, B stands for but, O stands for or, and Y stands for yet, and S stands for so. So whenever we have a compound sentence, अब compound sentence क्या है? Compound sentences वो sentences हैं जिनमें दो independent clauses हैं. अगर आप sentence को बीच में से अलग भी कर देंगे तो भी उसका independent meaning होगा. So sometimes we combine these two independent clauses with the help of fanboys, and with fanboys we will have to use commas. Okay, so have a look at all the sentences. जैसे देखिए, I was eager to go for I was prepared. अब अगर मैं कहूँ I was eager to go, this is an independent sentence. एक इसका अपना existence है, पूरा complete sentence है. और अगर मैं कहूँ I was prepared, then even it is also a complete sentence, right? But what am I doing? I am using this coordinate conjunctions. Fanboys use कर रही हूँ और इसीलिए fanboys के साथ में भी मुझे commas का use करना पड़ेगा. Anil wanted to go, comma, and he is very prepared for the task. Again, one coordinate conjunction. He did not talk to his friends, comma, nor did he call his wife. I work on Friday, comma, but I don't have to work on Saturday. He must study hard for the exams, comma, or he will fail. I ran very fast, yet I came in last. Now you can see, even if I exclude this yet, अगर मैं yet को sentence में से हटा भी लूं, तो भी sentence का अपना independent status है, right? So similarly, my sister is very sweet. Again, fanboys. So comma I'll have to apply. So everybody likes her. So with fanboys, you can always remember that we will have to use commas. Whenever it is combining two independent clauses, we will have to use a comma. So this is one of the principles which I believe can help you in writing your research papers and in writing any kind of draft. It is always helpful. Now, I believe more or less we have been able to understand how should we be using commas, okay? So here is one exercise for all of you. There is a worksheet, okay? Barely 6 sentences are there. And I give you another 3 minutes to complete this exercise. And I'll get back after 3 minutes, okay? So everybody should be doing it. And randomly, I can ask anybody. Simply, you are supposed to use commas here, none other punctuation. Okay, so please go ahead, everybody. In your answer sheet or whatever notebook you are carrying, जो भी आप notebook आपके पास में, आप उसमें answers quickly लिख सकते हैं, comma की placing करके, and I'll get back to you maybe within 3 minutes. Okay, so your time has already started. Please go ahead. आपको जहां भी प्रॉब्लम हो आप मेरे से बीच में भी पूछ सकते हैं. In case you have a trouble with any sentence, you can ask me. Have you come up with an answer? I can't see that because otherwise this PPT will vanish from your screen. Oh, wow. People are very quick responding. So that's really good to see. Last 1 minute is left with us. After that, maybe I randomly can invite anybody and can ask to come up with the right sentence. Have you completed the exercise, everyone? Or still doing?
And just the 1 minute.
Okay. Just last 1 minute. Fine. Completely fine. May we discuss them now? Maybe you are typing something, but I can't see that. Okay, so should we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
fine. So may I request Surbhi to come up with the right answer for sentence number 1? Surbhi, please. Surbhi, can you come up with the right answer for question number 1?
Ma'am, I
Taxi
think
cab,
there are two.
that are dirty are illegal in some cities.
So sorry, I missed that. Taxi cabs,
Comma,
absolutely fine. Yes.
that are dirty are illegal in some cities.
Okay, so after dirty, is there a comma or there isn't any comma?
No, ma'am. Are,
Ma'am, Surbhi,
Dirty के बाद R जो है वो we have to be eliminate.
हाँ.
I think. Yes, ma'am.
absolutely fine. Why? Because see, taxi cabs, and then we are defining them. We are giving more information about them. And what is the information? The information is that they that are dirty. So after taxi cabs, we will have to insert a comma. Similarly, after dirty also, we will have to insert a comma, right? Because this is another specification about those taxi cabs, that they are dirty. After dirty, again a comma, are illegal in some cities. That is absolutely perfect, right? For second one sentence, I would request Pragya. Pragya, can you come up with the right answer? The closet contains,
After worn clothes, we'll use a comma.
after worn clothes, comma, absolutely fine.
Old shoes, after old shoes.
Shoes also a comma, absolutely right. So as there are 3 pairs, therefore definitely after worn clothes we will have to put a comma. After old shoes also we will have to insert a comma. Absolutely perfect. Thank you. For sentence number 3, I would request Mohammed Rashid. Rashid, if you can come up with the right answer. This is, if you remember, adverb phrase. After surviving this ordeal, the trapper felt relieved. So where should I place a comma here? Rashid, are you there? Or maybe someone else can also answer. That's
Ma'am, after order deal.
Yes, before the. Yeah.
This order.
before the. Okay. So after surviving this ordeal, I'll have to insert a comma. The trapper felt relieved. Absolutely.
Yes,
After
ma'am.
the
Yes,
order
ma'am.
deal. Order.
Fourth, Mark Twain's early novels, I believe, stand the test of time. So for this, I would request Narendra. Narendra, if you are here, you can come up with the right answer.
After the novels.
After early novels, okay? After
And,
novels
and also I believe.
After believe, ma'am.
after believe also. Okay, so at 2 places I'll have to use a comma. Why? Because this is the part of that, if you remember, parenthetical thing, right? Which does not add to the meaning, but definitely, suppose even if I say Mark Twain's early novels stand the test of time, this is a complete sentence. Pura sentence hai ye. Lekin parenthetical expression kya hai? I believe. So before, after novels also, I'll have to insert a comma, and after believe also, I'll have to insert a comma, right? So that is how it will be done. Okay, for fifth one, I would request Prerna. Prerna, if you can answer question number 5. December 7, 1941 will never be forgotten. Prerna or anyone can answer. I don't know whether Prerna is present.
December 7, 1941, comma.
Yes, absolutely fine. Thank you.
Ma'am.
Absolutely right. December 7, 1941, will never be forgotten. And the last one, after a good washing and grooming, which is again an adverb phrase, the pup looked like a new dog. So where should I place a comma?
After grooming.
After
grooming.
Yeah.
After grooming.
I believe, thank you so much, everyone. We have all become skilled in applying commas, and here are we can match our answers. So I believe we have already matched, and we can skip this. Okay, so skipping this matching the answers, because you have already stated all the answers.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Ma'am, in the previous slide, in the second sentence, before and comma should.
Yeah. Second sentence you are talking about. So see,
Yes,
after
ma'am.
clothes, I'll have to put a comma. After old shoes also, I'll have to
Before
insert a
end,
comma.
before end.
Before and also, I'll have to insert a comma. That is absolutely right. I'll have to do that. I
Okay.
believe if you remember this one slide, I'm getting back to it. See, This was principle number 5, to separate words in a series, right? So we needed pens, comma, pencils, comma, and paper. Okay, so because paper is the last thing, and we have combined this last thing with the end, but prior to that, I'll definitely have to use a comma. Okay, so same goes on with sentence number 2 here. So after old shoes also, I'll have to insert a comma. Is it
Thank
clear?
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Ma'am,
Okay.
please, would you repeat the first first sentence also? टैक्सी कैब वाला
Yeah, yeah. So see,
आप एक बार भी बता दीजिए.
हाँ हाँ जरूर, क्यों नहीं. देखिए ये कह रहा है कि टैक्सी कैब्स, कौन सी टैक्सी कैब्स जो कि डर्टी हैं, वो कुछ शहरों में इलीगल हैं. अब आपका सेंटेंस जो है वो ऐसे भी कंप्लीट है, टैक्सी कैब्स आर इलीगल इन सम कंट्रीज, दैट इज एब्सोल्युटली परफेक्ट राइट सेंटेंस. लेकिन टैक्सी कैब्स की स्पेसिफिक इंफॉर्मेशन क्या है, या टैक्सी कैब के बारे में हमने एक एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन और दिया, और वो एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन हमने क्या दिया कि वो गंदी है. Right? So this is another clause, or this is another part of the sentence. This cannot run in continuation. जैसे अगर मैं कहूँ टैक्सी कैब्स that are dirty are illegal, ऐसे नहीं हो सकता. हमने क्या किया, टैक्सी कैब्स के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन दी है, इसीलिए टैक्सी कैब्स that, कौन सी टैक्सी कैब्स that are dirty, comma, are illegal in some cities. ठीक है, ये भी आपका, आप ये कह लीजिए पैरेंथेटिकल एक्सप्रेशन वाला ही पार्ट है. बिना इसके भी आपका काम हो रहा है. अगर आप सिंपली इतना सा कहेंगे टैक्सी कैब्स आर इलीगल इन सम सिटीज, एब्सोल्युटली परफेक्ट, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. जैसे मैं कहूं, सपोज इफ आई गिव यू अनदर सेंटेंस एंड इफ आई से दिव्या, comma, the scholarly anchor of University of Kota, comma, is present in today's session. Getting my point? Divya, I'm so sorry. I've been using a sentence on you. Hope you will excuse me. But that is how probably I'll have to frame the sentence. Have you been able to understand, dear? Hello? Have you been able to understand?
Yes, ma'am, we all.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes when you get silent, I just check my connection. Is it proper or not? Because I have been doing it from college. So at times I get doubtful. Okay. So can we proceed with the next one? Punctuation, with your permission, with everybody's permission?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So after comma, we proceed
Yes,
with
ma'am.
this semicolon. Now, where do we use semicolon? So semicolon basically wants the reader to pause a little longer than a comma. Comma से थोड़ा सा बड़ा, थोड़ा सा लंबा, but not as long as a period. Period का मतलब हुआ full stop, जहां पे आके sentence खत्म हो जाता है. ठीक है, तो ये आप कह सकते हैं कि period और comma के बीच की चीज है. हम कब सेमीकोलन यूज करते हैं? जब बिटवीन इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉजेस इफ यू रिमेंबर, अभी हमने बात की थी कंपाउंड सेंटेंसेस की, जहां की दो इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉजेस है. इफ दे आर नॉट जॉइंड बाय अ फैन बॉयज भी अभी हमने बात किया था. अगर फैन बॉयज का यूज है तो आपको कॉमा का यूज करना पड़ेगा, अदरवाइज आपको सेमीकोलन यूज करना पड़ेगा. जैसे आप एग्जाम्पल देखिए, एवरीवन इन माय फैमिली एक्सेल्स इन बेसबॉल. ओके, आप यहां पे ये भी कह सकते हैं बट आई सीम टू बी द एक्सेप्शन. और अगर मैं बट का यूज कर रही हूं तो मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा, मुझे बट से पहले कॉमा लगाना पड़ेगा. बट इन दिस सेंटेंस एज यू कैन सी, इट इज नॉट जॉइंड बाय अ फैन बॉयज वर्ड, इट इज नॉट जॉइंड बाय दैट कोऑर्डिनेट कंजंक्शन. बीच में कंजंक्शन का यूज आपने नहीं किया, तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, आपको सेमीकोलन यूज करना पड़ेगा. एंड एज यू कैन सी, बोथ ऑफ देम आर इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉजेस. अगर मैं सेंटेंस सेपरेट कर दूं, एवरीवन इन माय फैमिली एक्सेल्स इन बेसबॉल, ये कंप्लीट सेंटेंस है. आई सीम टू बी द एक्सेप्शन, ये भी कंप्लीट सेंटेंस है. सो व्हेनेवर दे आर नॉट जॉइंड बाय दिस फैन बॉयज, यू विल हैव टू यूज अ सेमीकोलन as has been done in this sentence. Use also a semicolon between independent clauses which are joined by words like for example, for instance, हम बहुत बार यूज करते हैं, otherwise, therefore, however. जैसे सेंटेंस देखिए, I am planning to go shopping tomorrow. मैं कल शॉपिंग जाने का प्लान कर रही हूँ. However, अब आपने however के पहले भी आपको सेमीकोलन का यूज करना पड़ेगा. However, I could wait if you want to go later. मैं आपका वेट करने को भी तैयार हूं. In case you are maybe willing to accompany me, then maybe I can wait. So prior to this however also, you will have to use a semicolon. So With independent clauses also, which are joined by all these words, we will have to use a semicolon. That is generally the trend. Next, let's move to the next one, punctuation mark, which is very simple to understand. I believe all of us are aware of this apostrophe, right? Maybe Nirja's pen, Ruchi's bottle, I should say maybe Divya's cup of coffee. So apostrophe to form possessives of nouns like the boy's hat. So what will be the meaning? The hat of the boy. Second, we can also use it to show the omission of letters, contractions. Like at times I say, I don't drink tea. Okay, so don't is basically a contraction and the meaning will be do not. I am, so I at times even use just this I apostrophe M. So the contraction, the complete meaning is I am. So for that purpose also we use apostrophe. And at times I believe there is a misconception about it that whenever we have something in plural, जब भी हमारे पास कुछ plural में चीज है या group में चीज है, plural में चीज है, तो हमें वहां पे भी to indicate certain plurals of lower case letters, जैसे हम कहेंगे students grievances, और यहाँ पे हमें सिर्फ apostrophe mark use करना है, s use नहीं करना है, because students already plural में है. Right? So we will say students' grievances. Grievances kinke? Students' ke grievances. So that is how we are supposed to use this apostrophe. Okay? I hope all of us are aware. Next, let's move to another. Yeah, any question? Do we have any question? No, perhaps. Can we move further?
Ma'am,
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
all. Ma'am, one question is here.
Yeah, please ask.
Ma'am, this is all in British English, right? We follow British.
Yeah, we follow British English. Nowadays, even American English is also very much in trend. But in order to, I should say, write down your research papers and every written communication, we still follow British English. Yes.
Ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Next is quotation marks, and definitely I believe you are all research scholars, so you might have been using quotation marks also extensively. So the primary purpose, we are all aware, is to set off and represent exact language, either spoken or written. Somebody has said and we just quote it verbatim. हम इसे as it is, जो भी उन्होंने किसी भी स्पीकर ने कहा है उसको as it is बताते हैं, as it is पूरा का पूरा लिखते हैं. So that is the place where we use quotation mark that has come from somebody else. But quotations are most effective if you use them sparingly. I hope, I believe this might be even suggested by your supervisors also. कभी-कभी जब quotation marks बहुत ज़्यादा आ जाते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है कि आपका कोई original thought नहीं है. Simply you are quoting whatever has been stated by somebody else, right? Therefore people often say, आपके supervisors भी आपको कहते होंगे कि quotation marks limit में रखिए. आप बहुत ज़्यादा quotation marks का use मत करिए, क्योंकि उससे ऐसा लगता है कि शायद आपके original thinking कहीं पे missing है. Okay, so that is especially for all research scholars. I believe this is a very practical suggestion. Keep them relatively short. In our case also, suppose if any English scholar is there, we just happen to ask them that maybe you can just come up maybe with 2 lines of quotes. Otherwise, you should be coming up with your own analysis. आपका खुद का जो analysis है, आपका जो खुद का विश्लेषण है, वो ज़्यादा महत्वपूर्ण है. Too many quotations in a research paper will get you accused of not producing original thought or material. They may also bore a reader who wants to know primarily what you have to say on the subject. आपका इस subject पे क्या मंतव्य है, लोग उसे जानना चाहते हैं, ना कि किसी और का remark. किसी और का remark भी उतना ही महत्वपूर्ण है, because literature review में definitely आपको quotation marks का use करते हुए आपको उनके sentences देने होते हैं, but do not use it extensively, right? Keep it in a limit. बहुत ज्यादा आप यूज मत करिए. हमने अभी तक 4 तरह के पंक्चुएशन मार्क्स की बात कही. इनिशियली हमने कॉमा से शुरू किया, फिर हमने सेमीकोलन का बात किया, उसके बाद में हमने अपॉस्ट्रोफी की चर्चा की, और फाइनली हमने कोटेशन मार्क्स की बात की. सो हियर इज वन. In case you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, we proceed with another worksheet on the same. Do you have any questions?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, do we have to use comma before and in every sentence, or
No,
only
not at all. Not at all. Suppose if I say, I played and went to market, I won't be using in that case. Why? Because I hope the things will be more easy if you try to understand it in this manner. Suppose agar मैं कहूँ went to market, this is not a complete sentence. Your subject is missing here. Getting my point? But if I say I played, this is a complete sentence. And went to market, अगर आप went to market को अलग कर दोगे तो it does not have its independent status. I said that you will have to use a comma with fanboys whenever there are two independent sentences. जिनको अगर आप अलग भी कर देंगे तो उनका independent meaning है. I hope you get my point.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so here is a worksheet for all of you, and we have 10 questions. So I should say another 4 minutes for everybody. Okay, and randomly I can ask anybody. So maybe let's proceed with the same. Wherever you have a question, you can ask. Otherwise, next 4 minutes are there with you. And primarily, or rather all of them are about using comma, apostrophe, semicolon, and quotation marks. That's it. Nothing else is there.
Ma'am, in first one, grandparents, S apostrophe. Job
Yeah.
is easier than a parents.
Then a parent. Yeah, apostrophe S. Yes, absolutely right.
Than a parents. Again, apostrophe above S.
No, no, no. After S, apostrophe only.
Okay,
No,
you do it.
what I'm saying.
Initially, you do it on your own, and
No.
please give back
I
once.
thought it is one on one, right, ma'am?
Next 4 minutes are there with you. Okay, so keep doing. Yeah, we will get back, and we will discuss also. At times, maybe you will have to insert a period also, full stop. With some of the sentences, even that is missing, right? So maybe you will have to use a full stop also.
Yes, ma'am.
Please let me know whenever you complete the exercise.
Ma'am, I have completed.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Ma'am.
What about other scholars? Have you completed?
Ma'am, we have just, we
Acha,
are
okay.
going to complete it in a
Yeah,
short
so
while only.
maybe in case most of
Yes,
you are.
ma'am. I have completed.
Okay, fine. So here is maybe, let's check your own answers. So the first one, if you can see it, a grandparent, that is apostrophe S. Job is easier than a parent. So it is a common noun, right? Where we say कि grandparent का job जो है वो थोड़ा सा parent से easy हो जाता है. Second one, please check your answer. It looks as if the sun
Earth.
goes around the
After.
earth.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, comma, but of course
Last.
the earth really goes round the sun.
Sun. Stop. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Third one, he neither smiled, comma, spoke,
Comma. Spoke.
nor
Nor.
me. Fourth one, long ago, comma, in a distant country, comma, there lived a beautiful princess.
Princess.
Yeah. Fifth one, it was my aunt who took Yogesh to Ajmer yesterday.
Comma.
Now, this is an interruption.
After
This
aunt. If after aunt. It was my aunt. Comma.
Yeah, even. You can place, no issues at all. Definitely, you can do. It was my aunt, comma, who took Yogesh to Ajmer yesterday because this is an additional information. Absolutely right. No issues at all. Not my father. Absolutely right. No issues. Thank you. Sheila was invited to the party, comma, but she was ill. This is another information, comma. So Rama went instead of her. Right. Even there is another, I believe, version of it. Even you can treat it in this manner. You can even cut short the sentence after ill also. आप ill के बाद में period लगा करके, full stop लगा करके sentence को खत्म भी कर सकते हैं और फिर आप Rama went instead of her उसको next sentence भी बना सकते हैं. Because with any kind of good writing.
With these two sentences not having relation.
Quotation.
Hanji?
Ma'am, before could I speak to you for a moment?
Not getting you there. आप क्या पूछना चाह रहे हैं? पूछिए please. Yes, please ask.
No, she was telling seventh one. Sorry to disturb you, Wala. That sentence she was speaking.
Okay. So we will get back to it. Don't worry. But she was ill because for any kind of clear expression or clarity expression, people say that we shouldn't be writing down very long sentences. Why? Because long sentences जो है वो आपके obscure हो जाते हैं. उनमें meaning थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो जाता है समझना. So that is absolutely perfect. You can place a comma here. Similarly, even you can put a full stop also here, and you can make it the another next sentence also. Rama went instead of her. That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely perfect. और आप comma का use करके भी sentence complete कर सकते हैं. Seventh one is sorry to disturb you, full stop. Could I speak to you for a moment? Question mark.
Question.
Which is more or less a request, right? And the chances are that the person is going to respond, yes, you can speak to me, right? Eighth one, is it any use expecting them to be on time? And question mark will be there. Ninth one, Abhishek, that is apostrophe S. Going to sleep during the wedding was rather embarrassing. Okay, even after sleep also you can put a comma. After wedding also you can put a comma. That is absolutely right. That is absolutely perfect. No issues at all. And the 10th one, having lost all my money. This is one phrase, adverb clause. You can say, comma, I went home. Right? So this is how maybe you can check your answers. In case you have any doubt with any sentence, you can ask.
Ma'am, of course
Yes.
के बाद comma नहीं लगा सकते. But of course, the second one.
आप बताइए.
The second one, no? Second, it looked like if the sun goes around the earth. But of course, after of course, comma नहीं लगा सकते.
Not exactly, because prior to this but there is already a comma and there is no use of, because see, commas should also not be placed unnecessarily. So this is not necessary over here at all. right? Definitely before but you will have to put a comma, but the earth, and this is again, I hope you understand that this is fanboy's principle, right? The earth really goes around the sun. That is again a complete sentence. It looks as if,
Universe truth. Universal
yeah,
truth.
yeah. So definitely after, of course, there is no need of any comma. You need not apply it at all. There is a fan with fanboy's principle. Definitely before but there needs to be a comma. Okay,
ma'am.
I make myself clear.
Ji,
Can we
ma'am.
proceed
Thank you.
further, everyone, with your permission?
Yes, ma'am.
Is everybody comfortable?
Ji, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm feeling more comfortable with you people now after almost an hour, I should say. Okay, so now we move on to the next segment of it, that is writing concisely, how to write briefly. Because at times, I believe all of you are research scholars, you have been progressing with the journey of this research. And how many times I believe it is very depressing to note that students often get such reviews that maybe your content is absolutely perfect. Maybe as far as the concept is concerned, that is absolutely perfect, but you need to maybe improve upon your grammar, or you need to write concisely. How many times with reviews, especially with technical students, we happen to receive such kind of remarks. So see, it's very important to how to write concisely, how to maybe put in more information in less words. कम शब्दों का प्रयोग करके आप ज्यादा बात कैसे कह पाएंगे, ये जानना हमारे लिए बहुत जरूरी है. See, somebody has also said that brevity is the soul of wit. जो जितने भी ज्यादातर इंटेलिजेंट लोग हैं या जो विटी लोग हैं, वो कम शब्दों में अपनी बात को कह पाते हैं. Similarly, William Strunk said it. Vigorous writing is concise. A sentence should contain no unnecessary words. जबकि हमें लगता है कि कई बार ठीक है, कोई वर्ड ही तो ज्यादा हो गया, क्या प्रॉब्लम हो गया सेंटेंस में. A paragraph, no unnecessary sentences. For the same reason that a drawing should have no unnecessary lines and a machine no unnecessary parts. मशीन में भी जितने पार्ट्स काम आएंगे आप वो ही लगाते हैं, कोई भी अननेसेसरी पार्ट नहीं लगाते. उसी तरीके से सेंटेंसेस जो है आपके वो भी कंसाइज होने चाहिए, वो भी संक्षिप्त होने चाहिए. लेकिन अब सेंटेंसेस को संक्षिप्त करें कैसे, क्योंकि कई बार हमें लगता है ये भी जरूरी है, ये भी जरूरी है, आई कांट अवॉइड इट. सो लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड सम ऑफ द प्रिंसिपल्स व्हिच कैन रियली हेल्प यू टू write concisely. So the first one is pruning the redundant. अब redundant क्या है, जो ऑफ्ट कोटेड एक्सप्रेशंस कह लीजिए, या उसी बात को बार बार कहना, रेपिटिशन करना. सो ऑलवेज वी विल हैव टू अवॉइड दिस रेपिटिशन. अब हम रेपिटिशन कैसे करते हैं, लेट्स हैव अ लुक. अवॉइड सेइंग द सेम थिंग ट्वाइस. अगर मैं कहूं मेनी अनएजुकेटेड सिटीजन्स who have never attended school continue to vote for better schools. अब आप कहेंगे अगर अनएजुकेटेड सिटीजन्स, तो वो डेफिनेटली वही हैं जिन्होंने कभी स्कूल नहीं गए. तो या तो आप अनएजुकेटेड सिटीजन्स कह दीजिए, या आप सिर्फ ये कह दीजिए who have never attended school, such people, right? Continue to vote. दोनों एक्सप्रेशंस की आपको जरूरत नहीं है. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट वी शुड बी प्रूनिंग. हमें हटा देना होगा जो भी रिडंडेंट रेपिटिशन है, उसको हटाना होगा. एंड हाउ मेनी टाइम्स वी डू इट. कई बार हम डेलिबरेटली कर देते हैं, कई बार हम इनडेलिबरेटली करते हैं, बट शायद हमें लगता है कि अगर हम लॉन्ग शायद डिजायर्ड इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट करते हैं, जबकि ये एक मिसनोमर है, गलत धारणा है. सेकेंड वन प्रिंसिपल इज अवॉइड प्लियोनिज्म. अब नाउ व्हाट इज दिस प्लियोनिज्म? प्लियोनिज्म इज अ फ्रेज दैट रिपीट्स इटसेल्फ. और ये हमारी बोलने की आदत होती है. जैसे हम कहेंगे ट्रू फैक्ट, ये तो बिल्कुल ट्रू फैक्ट था. Whereas fact is something which is true in nature, so we do not need true with it. 12 noon, noon का मतलब ही हुआ 12 बजे. I saw it with my own eyes. आप किसी और तरीके से तो नहीं देखते हैं. It's sometimes called a pleonasm. और हमारा ये सब pleonasm use करने की हमारी आदत होती है. So let's have a look at all these expressions जो हम प्रायः यूज करते हैं और हमें नहीं यूज करना चाहिए. जैसे हम कहेंगे I met him at 12 midnight. तो आप सिर्फ कहिए midnight. 12 noon की जगह बोलिए noon. 4 a.m. in the morning. I woke up today at 4 a.m. in the morning. सिर्फ आप कहिए I woke up at 4 a.m. वो definitely morning time है. AM indicates the same. It was absolutely yes. Are you saying something? No? Okay, fine. Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
जी, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. You are audible, ma'am. Please, ma'am, continue, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So see, absolutely spectacular. It was the scene was absolutely spectacular, or the scene was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Spectacular का मतलब ही है which is something beyond the common thing, right? So simply say spectacular or phenomenal. A person who is nice, I would love to meet the person who is nice. Instead of that, say a nice person. Library ordered a total of 10 books. Simply say library ordered 10 books. Biography of her life. Definitely bio is life. Graph and gram means to draw or to write. So simply say biography. Circle around, simply say circle. Close proximity, instead of that, simply say proximity. Instead of completely, the class was completely unanimous on this and this. So simply say unanimous, because unanimous का मतलब ही है कि सारे के सारे सबकी एक ही ओपिनियन है और सबका एक मत है किसी पर्टिकुलर विषय को लेकर के. So you shouldn't be using
Ma'am,
this.
we all use, we all say 12 noon. So, isn't it? So how does it's gonna make difference if we say 12 noon or noon? We are
It will be simply adding one another word to your sentence, which is not needed at all, which is not right, which is not right. We shouldn't be using it. I should simply say that I met him at noon, and noon itself means that is somewhere 12 o'clock, right? So I shouldn't be using, because noon itself means the same.
itself,
That's what I'm
yes, it
saying. That
itself tells.
all of us are in habit of using it. How many times you might have heard people stating a total of 10 books were ordered. हमें ऐसा लगता है कि शायद हम जब इतने लंबे लंबे sentences बोलेंगे तो उसका desired impact आएगा. लेकिन अगर आप कोई भी native speaker को सुनेंगे, they never use such kind of long expressions. They are always very precise. इसीलिए लोग कहते हैं कि अगर आपको आपकी English बहुत अच्छी करनी हो, तो the best way or the best method is that you should be reading Tinkle. अब टिंकल में क्या होता है? टिंकल हैज ऑल स्मॉल सेंटेंसेस. कार्टून की छोटी छोटी सी किताबें हैं और उनमें बहुत छोटे छोटे
We read, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I read, ma'am.
टर्स सेंटेंसेस होते हैं, राइट? सो वी शुड बी ऑलवेज यूजिंग द प्रिसाइज एक्सप्रेशन. पर हमारी आदत होती है हम से द क्लास वाज कंप्लीटली यूनानिमस, राइट? व्हिच इज अ रॉन्ग एक्सप्रेशन. यूनानिमस का मतलब ही अपने आप में इतना है कि सारे के सारे एक हैं. सो वी शुडंट बी यूजिंग इट. दैट्स नॉट राइट. Okay. Similarly, see, yes. Yeah.
Ma'am,
Please go on.
verbosity, is there any difference between verbosity and play, जो आपने बताया pleonasm? Because मैंने
Yes.
कभी इनको एक ही समझ ली थी.
जी,
तो आप
देखिए,
मुझे clear कर देंगे इस बार?
I'll even be talking about verbosity. Verbosity is using too many words where they are not needed. So later on, I'll come up with those expressions, how maybe a sentence or a paragraph of 68 words has been reduced in half, right? So that is verbose. Verbose is using too many words which are not needed. But pleonasm is basically, now see, fact is something which is already true, right? So we are not supposed to use them. Verbosity and pleonasm is a different thing, okay? And later on, I'll definitely be talking about this verbosity also. Don't worry.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now, similarly, if I believe all of us are fond of using these redundant expressions, repetition. How do we do that? Memories. अब memories कोई definitely generally past की होती हैं. We often love saying various differences. Differences का मतलब ही है that people were not unanimous. There were varied opinions. Each individual का मतलब भी वही है. Yes, and we are all fond of using this basic fundamentals. Her basic fundamentals were very strong, whereas fundamentals itself is very basic in nature, right? So we shouldn't be using basic fundamentals. True facts, important essentials, future plans, terrible tragedy. Now, tragedy is something which is already terrible in nature, and we need not use these expressions. And result, again, wrong expression. Final outcome, free gift. Gift is generally free. Otherwise, it's not a gift. Past history, unexpected surprise. Surprise is something which you do not expect, which you do not know before, right? Similarly, sudden crisis. Now, crisis is also something which is sudden in nature. But we are probably, I should say, over the years, इतने सारे सालों के बाद में अंग्रेजी को यूज करते करते शायद हमारी आदत पड़ गई है कि we happen to utter sentences in this manner and which are not desirable. I shouldn't be saying that they are wrong. Anybody is going to deduct your marks on the basis of it, but then these are not desirable things. Therefore, whenever you are writing anything, just make sure that you do not fall into this trap of using more and more words. Similarly, there are some other also large in size, oftentimes, of a bright color, heavy in weight, period in time. So even if you say period, that definitely conveys the sense. Round in shape, at an early time, honest in character, of an uncertain condition, in a confused state. So even if you say confused, that makes sense. Unusual in nature, extreme in degree. Even if you say extreme, it is completely all right. Of a strange type, strange simply you can say, and I come from economics field. So you can simply say I come from economics. That is absolutely fine, right? But I believe with the years of using all these expressions, we just fall into this trap and we use them. Okay, let's go ahead with this abbreviated redundancies and how do we fall in this trap. Now, if we talk about this ATM machine, now this is an abbreviation and we all know that it means automated teller machine. So at time we say ATM machine. Now ATM itself has machine in itself. Therefore, we need not use machine. We happen to say HIV virus, which is again wrong. Human immunodeficiency virus, it automatically means the same. Therefore, we need not use virus. Similarly, AIDS syndrome, whereas AIDS itself has syndrome as S. CPU unit, I believe all computer science people can relate with it. Now, CPU itself means central processing unit. So it sounds particularly silly when we come up with the plural CPU units, right? Central processing units, which doesn't make any sense. And often I believe unknowingly, or I should say because we have been overhearing it, we use all these expressions which are not right? Therefore, it's very important. And see, in oral communication, if I make a mistake, then probably I can be excused. But your written communication stays with the person forever. Therefore, it is very important that we should be writing down the correct expressions. We shouldn't be using these abbreviated redundancies. Is everybody comfortable?
Yes,
Excuse
ma'am.
me.
Yes, ma'am, we are.
While
Yeah, yes.
speaking, we can commit these mistakes, but yes, at the time of reading, we can make
Yeah.
sure that we won't be using.
See, with speaking also, if the fellow is smart enough to record, then you should be very aware of using the right expression. But otherwise, maybe in speaking, one can be excused, right? But in written expression, we should be very sure of whatever we are writing.
Ma'am.
Yes. So the next one is reducing clauses to phrases and phrases to single words. Now, there was somebody who was talking about verbosity. Now, see, here is one example for this verbosity. Be alert for clauses or phrases that can be paired to simple and shorter construction. Now, see, have a look at this sentence. Smith College, comma, additional information is, which was founded in 1871, additional information, is the premier all-women's college in the United States. Now, how can you rewrite the same sentence using less words? You can say, founded in 1871, you have omitted which was, right? 2 words you have curtailed. Smith College is the premier all-women's college in the United States. Now, see, this which was perhaps needless with the same sentence. So how you can reduce clauses to phrases and phrases to single words, even we should be, I should say, quite adept in this art. हमें इस art में भी बहुत skilled होना चाहिए कि हम कैसे clauses को phrases में और phrases को single words में express कर पाए. हम कुछ और भी examples इसके देखेंगे. Now see, at times we use these intensifiers also, which actually do not intensify. जैसे avoid using words such as really, very, quiet, extremely, severely when they are not necessary. और प्रॉब्लम ये इसलिए होता है क्योंकि हम बहुत बार सेंटेंसेस को हिंदी से इंग्लिश में कन्वर्ट करते हैं एंड देयरफॉर वी थिंक दैट परहैप्स इफ आई ऐड टू द ग्रेविटी ऑफ इट देन probably I need all these intensifiers. So if you even say, it is probably enough to say that the salary increase is inadequate. Okay, salary का जो increase है वो पर्याप्त नहीं है, ये enough है कहना. Does saying that it is severely inadequate introduce anything more than a ton of hysteria? So please remember, at times these intensifiers, they do not convey the desired meaning. They are unnecessary in the sentence. So we should refrain ourselves from using these intensifiers, which really don't intensify. Okay, but perhaps we are in habit of using them, and therefore it would take us some time to come to all these terms. Yeah, next one is very interesting. I hope all of us will agree with it. Avoiding expletive constructions. And expletive construction is a common device that often robs a sentence of energy before it gets a chance to do its work. They begin generally with there is, there are, or it is. So how many times you might have seen that generally we begin our sentences with there is. Suppose if anybody happens to ask me, okay, Hanija, how many students maybe attended your presentation? I'll say there were around 100 students in the session, right? So why to use this there are? Okay, that is not right. So we, instead of saying, now see, have a look at this sentence. If I say, there are 25 students who have already expressed a desire to attend the program next summer. It is, again, see, it begins with there are and then it is. It is they and their parents who stand to gain the most by the government grant. Now, the same sentence can be better put in these words and again in less words. See, rewritten. 25 students. What is the need of saying there are? Okay, you can always say 25 students have already expressed a desire to attend the program next summer. That's absolutely fine. And how many words also you have been able to reduce? Have a look at that. They and their parents. Instead of it is they and their parents, you can always say they and their parents stand to gain the most by the government grant. So that is how you can avoid these expletive constructions which begin with there is, there are, it is, right? So we shouldn't be using them. Now have a look at all these phrases again, which we are fond of using, but which we should be avoiding. As example, often we happen to say as a matter of fact, okay? And we use it, I should say, unnecessarily or maybe in order to add more gravity to our sentences. मुझे जब लगता है कि शायद मेरे sentence को बहुत ज़्यादा gravity की ज़रूरत है, तो मैं कई बार ऐसे expressions use करती हूँ, right? So that is not fair. I shouldn't be using them. As a matter of fact, there are more woodlands in India now than there were in 1898. So better version is there are more woodlands in India now than there were in 1898, right? You have omitted this as a matter of fact. As far as I am concerned, often we are in habit of using it. As far as I am concerned, there is no need for further protection of woodlands. So you can simply say further protection of woodlands is not needed. Instead of saying at the present time, this is because there are fewer farmers at the present time. You can simply say this is because there are fewer farmers now. So see, instead of at the present time, which consists 4 words, you can simply say now, which consists just 1 word. Because of the fact that, and often we are in habit of using it.
But
Woodlands
in second, sorry for the interruption, ma'am, but in second sentence, they are also talking about farmers.
Yeah.
Further protection of woodlands is not needed in that. At left side, they are including farmers. So number of farmers or means they are talking about farmers also.
No, this is about
supposed to delete that part.
I hope you are getting confused with second and third sentence. Third
Sorry,
sentence.
third. Yes.
Yeah. So this is because there are fewer farmers at the present time.
So no need to write down or tell about fewer farmers.
No, we have included it. It is there. This is because there are fewer farmers. Simply.
Sorry. I was sorry, ma'am. So sorry. I was reading second one. Sorry.
Completely fine. At the present time, simply we have reduced to now, right? Which saves words for us. I hope you will agree with me that it is saving a lot of 4 words have been reduced to just 1.
Ma'am, agreed, ma'am.
Yeah. Similarly, see, because of the fact that, so instead of saying because of the fact that, you can simply say since, as, because. That's it. So woodlands have grown in area because farmers have abandoned their fields. So instead of saying because of the fact that, you can simply say because. By means of major forest areas are coming back by means of natural processes. So simply you can say major forest areas are coming back through natural processes or even naturally also. So instead of writing natural processes, you can simply say naturally. By virtue of the fact. Now see, this does not add anything significant to your sentence. So definitely you can even omit it. Our woodlands are coming back by virtue of the fact that our economy has shifted its emphasis. You can simply say our woodlands are coming back Because our economy has shifted its emphasis. That conveys the sense. Due to the fact that now again, see, 5 words we use, whereas we can omit them simply by using since, as, or because. Due to the fact that their habitats are being restored, forest creatures are also re-establishing their population basis. Because their inhabitants are being restored, forest creatures are also re-establishing their population basis. So there are certain phrases which do not add anything significant to your sentences, and you can always omit them. And rather, it is better to omit them. Now let's take up more examples. And here again, I'm talking about verbosity. There was somebody who talked about verbosity. Now see, this is all verbosity. How initially we come up with wordy expressions or verbose expressions conveying more words, and then how we reduce the same sense in less words. Have a look at this. The politician talked about several of the merits of after-school programs in his speech. Now देखिए, आपने कितने शब्दों का use किया? Several, talked about, several of the merits of, my God, somewhere 5-6 words. So the same can be comprised to, or the same can be reduced in less words, stating the politician touted. Now touted itself means something which you advertise or something which you speak in favor of, right? So by using just touted, you convey almost 4 or 6 or 5 words which have been used in the original sentence. The politician touted after-school programs in his speech. 14 words initially get reduced to 8 words. Now see, have a look at the second sentence. Smita believed but could not confirm. Believed but could not confirm. So this is one, somewhere 4 words, 5 words, that Rahul had feelings of affection for her. Had feelings of affection for, somewhere 5 words again. 14 words in all. Concise expression is Smita assumed. Now, assumed itself means believed but could not confirm. I hope all of us are aware that Rahul adored her. So if I use the word adore, I definitely convey the meaning of feelings of affection for her, right? So that is how maybe you can make your sentences concise. You can eliminate them of this verbosity. Wordy expression. Our website has made available many of the things you can use for making a decision. Now, my God, see how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, my God, 8, 9, 10 words are there on the best dentist. So you can very concisely convey the same idea by stating our website criteria for determining the best dentist. Okay, so if you just say presence criteria, that conveys whatever has been stated in the original sentence. 20 words have been reduced to 9 words. Now, I believe you might be able to understand how we write down verbose expressions and how make them concise. Do you have any remark to come up with? I believe there is somebody. Praveen, may I request you, yeah, please to keep it on mute. Praveen, in case you have any remark to make, you can come up with it. Praveen, do you have any question? Praveen or Girjesh or anybody? No, perhaps? May I continue with your permission?
Yes, ma'am. Continue.
Continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So let's get back. Now have a look at the next one. Here is, I should say, almost one sentence or more than one. I hope there is just one sentence consisting almost 66 words. My God, such a huge one. So it says, Eric Clapton and Steve Winwood formed a new band of musicians together in 1961, giving it the ironic name of Blind Faith because early speculation. Now see, if you read everything very closely, that was spreading everywhere. Can you find out something which is odd here? With just first three lines. If you can closely.
Band is there. Band.
New band of musicians.
Okay, band of musicians, okay. And what about this early speculation that was spreading everywhere? Now, speculation is
Early
something
speculation.
which is again needless, I should say, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Speculation
Early.
is something
Yes, ma'am.
early speculation. Yes. About the band suggested that the new musical group would be good enough, why so, to rival the earlier bands that both men had been in. Cream and Traffic, that was the name of their earlier band, which people had really liked and had been very popular. Okay, so 66 words are there in all. Now see the same, the abridged version of, I should say, 66 words. And I don't know how many words it should be, but somewhere not 66 at all. I should say not more than 20 in any case. So concise version is Eric Clapton and Steve Winwood formed a new band in 1969, ironically naming it Blind Faith. That was the name which was given by them because the speculation suggested. Speculation is something which is already spreading everywhere. So we need not use it because that is a verbose expression. हम अगर दोबारा उसे कहेंगे तो उसका कोई sense नहीं है. That is all meaningless. That the group would rival the musicians' previous popular bands, Cream and Traffic. Right? So that is how 66 words have been reduced to less than 20 words. And I believe even the meaning is more clear. So that is how we are supposed to go for. We are supposed to opt for the concise version of everything. Let's have a look at another example, which is the first one is a wordy one and second one of the same paragraph is a very concise version. As you can see, 56 words have been reduced to 37 words. Now see, and even you will feel with the same that the wordy expression is difficult to understand also, whereas the concise version is very clear. Okay, so suppose if the sentence says, I would appreciate it if you would bring to the attention of your drafting officers the administrator's dislike of long sentences and paragraphs in messages to the field and in other items drafted for her signature or approval, as well as in all correspondence, reports, and studies. Please encourage your section to keep their sentences short. Okay, so 56 words are there in all. Now, same paragraph has been reduced in this manner. सेम पैराग्राफ को इस तरीके से हम वर्ड्स को कम कर सकते हैं. प्लीज एनकरेज योर ड्राफ्टिंग ऑफिसर्स टू कीप सेंटेंसेस एंड पैराग्राफ्स इन लेटर्स, रिपोर्ट्स एंड स्टडीज short, right? Instead of say dislike of long sentences. My God, why to write down so much of stuff? Then even the person has named somebody, Dr. Lumas, because I hope you would agree with me. किसी भी अच्छी राइटिंग की ये भी पहचान है कि आप उसको एब्स्ट्रैक्ट नहीं लिखते, आप उसको हमेशा कॉन्क्रीट लिखते हो. नाउ व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन राइटिंग डाउन द एब्स्ट्रैक्ट थिंग्स और कॉन्क्रीट थिंग्स? अगर मैं कहूं कि देयर आर सम ड्राफ्टिंग ऑफिसर्स, so who are these drafting officers? I do not know about that, right? But if I name somebody Dr. Lumas, then definitely people would be able to relate with it. अगर मैं आपको एब्स्ट्रैक्ट और कॉन्क्रीट का कुछ और एग्जाम्पल दूं, जैसे मान लीजिए मैं दीपक से कहूं कि दीपक आपको असाइनमेंट सबमिट करना है, राइट? एंड दीपक promises it to me. Deepak says, ma'am, I'll submit it soon. Now this soon is an abstract expression. मैं मान रही हूं कि सून का मतलब है मुझे दिन के एंड तक दीपक सबमिट कर देंगे. दीपक सोच रहे हैं कि जल्दी किसको है, मैं हो सकता है वीक के एंड तक सबमिट करूं, और अगर मंथ के एंड तक भी कर दूंगा तो भी सूनी है, और अगर ईयर एंड तक भी कर दूंगा तो वो भी सूनी है, सेमेस्टर के अंत तक भी करूंगा तो भी सूनी है, right? So that is an abstract expression. And in our oral as well as in written communication, we are not supposed to use these abstract expressions. हमें concrete,
which is not clear.
Yeah, yes. Abstract expression is not clear. Soon can be interpreted in several ways, right? अगर मैं कहूँ कि you should maintain a good attendance record, अब मैं तो चाह रही हूँ कि good attendance record का मतलब है somewhere 95%. Somebody may assume good attendance record means 80%. Somebody may think 65% is also good attendance record. Somebody who never turns up in the class may even feel कि भाई 40% भी हो जाएगा तो भी वो good attendance record ही है. Right? So this good attendance record can be interpreted in several ways. And इसीलिए हमें written communication में और oral communication में ध्यान रखना चाहिए. जैसे मैं कहूँ, I want to get placed with India's leading companies. Right? अब इंडिया की लीडिंग कंपनी में हो सकता है मैं मान रही हूँ IBM है, Infosys है ना, Amazon है, Microsoft है, है ना? But then there might be some other people who might feel कि India की leading company में कोई और companies हैं. So it is always
Specifically. Yes, ma'am.
specific. Yes, it is always better to be specific, right? So therefore, I'm explaining the relevance of using the name Dr. Lomas. The administrator has mentioned that reports and memos drafted for her approval recently have been wordy and thus time consuming. Now see, within 37 words, you are conveying, you are making more sense as compared to using 56 words, right? So it is an important art which should be cultivated by everybody, how to write down in a concise manner, how to write down in brief manner. Now I hope, let's talk about these cliches, and I hope you might have heard about them. So we generally say that whenever you want to write down in a concise manner, you should be avoiding cliches. Ab cliches kya hai? There are certain expressions in English which due to overuse have become redundant. लैंग्वेज में आपने उनको इतना ज्यादा यूज कर लिया कि अब वो प्रचलन से बाहर हो गए. जैसे मैं आपको बताऊं, जब भी आपके यहाँ यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कोटा में कोई फंक्शन होता होगा, तो जब कोई भी थैंक्स नोट दे रहे हैं, राइट, धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव दे रहे हैं, तो वो जनरली कहते हैं I feel very indebted to this and this person. I feel very acknowledged to this and this person. And somewhere when the person is moving to the last segment, तो वो क्या बोलते हैं? वो क्लीशे बोलते हैं, last but not least, I would like to thank this and this person. Now this last but not least, ये लैंग्वेज में इतना ज्यादा यूज हो गया है कि इसकी वजह से ये क्लीशे हो गया है. क्लीशे मतलब वो एक्सप्रेशंस जो हमें अब सेंटेंसेस में यूज नहीं करने चाहिए. ठीक है, आपने ये भी सुना होगा that sometimes even students say, madam, I am burning midnight oil these days. Midnight oil मतलब बहुत मेहनत कर रहा हूँ.
Working. हाँ, yes, ma'am.
दिन एक कर दिए हैं मैंने.
Midnight oil.
Yes, so that is also due to overuse. All of them are cliches and we shouldn't be using these cliches in our sentences. अब देखिए, आप ये sentence पढ़ेंगे अगर, a healthy lifestyle enhances मतलब increase your ability both to live life to its fullest. Now living life to its fullest, due to overuse it has become a cliche, and to live to a ripe old age. Living to a ripe old age has also become a cliche. So better write down, a healthy lifestyle helps you live life fully and longer, not using any of the cliches. Here is a small, I should say, list of some of the cliches which are very frequent in English. Often people say better late than never. So it has also become a cliche. Don't use it in sentences. Knight in shining armor. For any chivalrous person, for any brave person, we use, he was a knight in shining armor. So you can say he was a great warrior or he was very brave, but don't use cliches. I am cool, calm and collected. Don't use it. I want to soar like an eagle. Don't do that. It was as hard as a rock. Don't do that. He's passing the things with flying colors, and pass with flying colors, again, it has become so overused in English language that it has become a cliche. White as snow, ripe old age, live life to its fullest. I'm working like a dog. I'm very hardworking. So people use all these cliches. See eye to eye. So suppose if I'm agreeing with somebody, then people say that I see eye to eye. So instead of that, you simply say, I agree to whatever you said, or I agree with you. Okay, so don't use cliches in your sentences. They make your sentences longer and they don't create the desired impact also, because due to overuse, they are obsolete from language. They are no longer used. The next one important principle is eliminate slang. Now, I believe I need not explain slang to all of you, because maybe in your colloquial expression or in your daily communication, you might be using a lot of slangs. And what are jargons? Jargons are basically
yes, one doubt. But initially, when we were using these words, so-called cliches nowadays, as you are explaining, but these words used to weightage to the para or to the sentence.
Yeah, but we shouldn't be using them, because you would agree with me. I should say almost every program, even at MNIT also, whenever anybody is proposing a formal vote of thanks,
Yes, I
people
do use, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
are fond of using it. So we shouldn't be using it because it is now being put in the category of cliche. So we should refrain from using it. We shouldn't be using it. Okay, you can say that I would like to thank this and this person, or I would like to thank such and such mister. You can always say. Slangs, I hope we know. Jargons are technical terminology, right? You won't believe, prior to this session, I had an examination duty and there was some computer paper. So I just, because there was somebody who submitted his answer sheet and I was having a look at the answer sheet. You won't believe if I say that I was unable to understand so many things which were written in the answer sheet of somewhere 7th semester students of BTech CS. Why? Because there was some coding language which I don't understand. Suppose if two medical professionals are talking, perhaps I won't, whenever they are talking in their technical terminology, I won't be able to understand it. I should really thank God that all teachers have very simple language, but otherwise jargons, the technical terminology which is used by people of any particular profession. किसी particular profession के लोगों के द्वारा जो तकनीकी शब्दावली का प्रयोग किया जाता है वो jargons है, right? So we shouldn't be using them in our written expression, not even in oral expression also, I should say. Now, have a look at this sentence. Many kids begin school pretty together, and then they space out. So space out is again a slang which we shouldn't be using, or maybe some terminology with which everybody might not be familiar. Now see, I believe here I would like to share the difference between the oral communication and the written communication. In oral communication, suppose if Pragya is unable to understand anything, she might catch me at that very moment. She might say, Nirja madam, please explain it once again, right? And I'll be explaining it to her. But suppose if I'm writing a mail to Pragya, or if I'm writing a letter to Pragya, then she might feel baffled with certain expressions and she might not be able to ask me, right? हो सकता है कोई एक दो मेल करने के बाद में प्रज्ञा मुझसे पूछे कि अरे मैडम आपने जो लिखा था उसका मीनिंग मुझे समझ में नहीं आया. So that involves a lot of time, and how many times people don't ask, right? So it is very important, especially with all written communication, that we should be aware of all these things. अब आप इसी सेंटेंस को अगर आपको प्रॉपर्ली लिखना हो, how would you be writing it? Many students begin school focused, because that is what you wanted to say, focused, right? But then lose their direction, not they space out, because with space out everybody might not be able to understand. So we should be avoiding these slangs and jargon in our written expression, in our oral expression also. Now let's have a look at these common slangs. What are they? Check it out, check this out. Instead of that, say, look at, watch, examine. Instead of workaholic, you can say a person who loves is addicted to work. I am working on some stuff. Better say things. Taking care of business, doing things that need to be done. He's a pro. And how many times I just listen my students using all these terms. He's a pro, a person who is professional. Better say. Crack up, to laugh uncontrollably. Wedge, my God, you would be wondered to know that even people also use such kind of expressions. Relax and do nothing. Dude, my God, such a common one, and all students would agree that these are such oft quoted expressions in our language. So better say person, man. He's an all-nighter. How many times students say that, madam, he won't write, he won't be seen studying, but then he's an all-nighter. So better say studying all night. He's cool, and my God, this cool has captivated so many terms of our students. For anything, people say he's cool. So instead of that, better say good, fashionable. Gross, nasty. Instead of that, better say disgusting. Pig out, eat a lot. Screw up, make a mistake. So instead of slangs, better use the expressions which are needed. Slangs never portray, I should say, a positive image of you. Or slangs never create the desired impression which is needed in language. Okay. We have dealt with several strategies, several mechanics which help you to write down the sentences in concise manner. हमने बहुत सारे तरीकों की बात की. अगर आपको इन सभी के बारे में कुछ क्वेश्चन है, you can ask me. Otherwise, there is a worksheet awaiting you. In case you have any question, you can ask.
मैम अगर हम कुछ idioms या कुछ phrases यूज करते हैं तो वो भी clichés में आती है?
No, idioms and phrases are very much acceptable in language. No issues at all. They are rather, I believe they will be welcomed. But please, whenever, suppose if I'm writing down an email in particular, I'm not supposed to use them. Because with emails or with any kind of letter, it is better to go for simple expression. Because suppose if I'm writing down an email and if I'm using maybe a phrasal verb or an idiom, and if the person doesn't know the meaning of it, maybe he will not even take pains to refer to the dictionary. So it is always better to write down the things in simple, clear terms. Okay. Otherwise, in your spoken expression, definitely you can use idioms, you can use phrasal verbs. Even in writing, also you can use phrasal verbs. Not at all an issue. Right? But slangs, phrasal verbs, and idioms are not the same ones, right? Slangs are not desirable in language. Similarly, even jargons are also not desirable in language.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions if we have? No. Okay. So let's proceed with the worksheet. And my God, how many? 11 sentences are there. So I should say another for 11 sentences, somewhere 6 minutes will be adequate. I hope 6 minutes will be adequate. So I get back after 6 minutes. In case you have any trouble, you can ask. And definitely there can be more than one correct version. So have a close look at it. In case you are done, just let me know. If you have completed the exercise, please let me know.
आवाज बिल्कुल नहीं आ रही है सर। मैम आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
मैं भी बोल भी कुछ नहीं रही हूँ। सनावत, आपको एक वर्कशीट दी हुई है स्क्रीन पे, आपको वो करना है अभी, इसीलिए मैं कुछ नहीं बोल रही हूँ। एंड इन केस यू आर डन, प्लीज लेट मी नो। अगर आपने कंप्लीट कर लिया है तो वी कैन गो हेड विद आंसर्स। Should we check our answers? If you are done with it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, everyone? Have you completed your exercise? Yeah, so, okay. Let's
Do, ma'am.
yeah. Okay, so let's check answers. First one, maybe you can have a look at your answer sheet. Bradley Hall is usually filled with students who do not study the building as a structure. That's it. I believe the sentence was a very long one, which has been.
It was very lengthy.
Yes. Second one, he dropped out of school to support his family. That's it. Third, the bus company will probably announce its schedule during the next few days. Now, see, during the next few days is also an abstract term, right? Which maybe with written expression, we should be very specific with the things. Fourth, any student who wants to meet foreign students can do so in many ways. Fifth, rarely will you find someone who has never told a deliberate lie. Sixth, disobeying safety regulations cause trouble. It should be cause, not causes, because regulations was there. Pardon me for this error. Seventh one, 5 out of more than 1,000 students at a campus rally were arrested for disorderly conduct, and several others were charged by campus administrator with organizing a public meeting without a permit. Eighth one, students think that the most important subjects are those that will be useful after graduation. Ninth one, soon college freshmen must realize that they need to contact their advisors about their choice of majors. 10th one, our company provides opportunities for professional growth and stability in the dynamic field of aerospace technology. And the last one, there are people who are for and against capital punishment, right? And I remember the sentence was also a very long one. I do not say that these are the only correct answers, but definitely if you have also made a concise version of it, then definitely.
Yes, ma'am. Even in 8th, we can eliminate after subjects, like students
Yes.
think most
Yes.
important subjects are useful after graduation.
Yes, yes, definitely. Completely agree.
Citing those that will be
Very right. Completely agreed. Completely agreed, right? So you may
Thank you,
have
ma'am.
You may have different interpretations, and definitely all of them are right. But that is how maybe we can reduce the number of words which are used in our sentences. Okay, so I want you to click just the image of it. It will be considered as your homework because we are going to meet even tomorrow from 3 to 5 p.m. So when you come for tomorrow's session, you should have the answers ready with you. Maybe we will begin the session while discussing the same answers. So you can just click an image of it, or maybe your administrators will share the same PPT on your mails so that it will be easier for you. Okay, so hope you have clicked, or
Done,
still
ma'am.
clicking. Done.
Can we leave the session for
Sorry.
today?
Okay.
Can we leave this session for today?
Done, ma'am.
With this note, I I would like maybe address your queries. Okay, so let me just stop sharing this, and let me get back to. Let me stop listening. Okay, so in case there are any questions, I would love to address all those questions. And Sapna,
Ma'am,
you are saying.
initially I was unable to connect with
ma'am.
you, ma'am.
Ma'am,
So may I know, ma'am, where are you working, ma'am?
I'm working with MNIT. Who is asking me a question? I don't know. Priyanka?
Ma'am, this side Priyanka, ma'am, right?
yes, ma'am. Priya.
Yeah, I have been working with MNIT.
Priyanka
I have been
Chaudhary.
working with MNIT, working in Department of Humanities and Social, Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. I'm serving as assistant professor over here, and frankly speaking, I was not very much prepared for this Hindi deliberation, but
No,
then
ma'am,
I
it
don't
was
know
a
have
wonderful presentation, ma'am.
do justice to you or not.
You did, ma'am. Thank you a lot, ma'am.
Ma'am, will you please suggest me any best book for enhance my vocabulary actually? मुझे मिल नहीं पा रही है कोई अच्छी बुक
For
मुझे
vocabulary,
सजेस्ट करें
keep reading more and more. There is no exercise which helps except reading more and more. Make it a practice maybe to read newspaper without fail on an everyday basis. Spare half an hour to any English daily, be it even Times of India, right? And wherever you find time, keep going through maybe either a novel or a storybook, whatever interests you. Get into a habit that before I sleep, I would be reading something. So even I have also been reading one of the novel, The Illuminated these days. So that is what really helps. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other question pertaining to the
Excuse me,
session
ma'am.
today? If you have, you can ask.
Ma'am,
Yeah, please.
could we get your
Pragya.
email address or something so that we can contact you?
Sure, why not? Let me just text it. Give me a minute. I'm getting it typed in the chat box. nirja.hum@mnit.ac.in. And here is my number also in case you want to be in touch. Right? I have
Thank
texted
you,
it,
ma'am.
so yeah, you get it. Right. So any other question if you have, or maybe.
क्वेश्चन तो नहीं है बट एक चीज कहना चाहूंगी आपके पढ़ाने का अंदाज इतना अच्छा था कि आई एम हिंदी लिटरेचर स्टूडेंट लेकिन इतना मजा आया थैंक यू सो मच मैम
Thank you so much,
Ma'am,
Sylvie.
हमें भी बहुत मजा आया
Thank you. Thank you to University
you,
of
ma'am.
Kota for giving me an opportunity to maybe share something with you people. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
My pleasure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I'm quite excited about the huge.
Thank you, ma'am.
I should say almost 158 students are here, and I hope you all come from diverse districts.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
we meet even tomorrow, and tomorrow also we are going to discuss something very interesting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Enjoy the sessions.
The way of teaching is really very, very interesting. Very good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
I love to be acknowledged, and I just love to be a teacher. That's it.
Thank you.
Somebody can interact with students.
So much.
Over to
Thank
you,
ma'am.
Divya. Yes, maybe you have something to add. Divya, one who initiated the session. Thank you, Uma Shankar, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I want to join you again like this class. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kusum. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Over to you, Divya.
लगी आपका पढ़ाने
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, University of Kota. Thank you. We meet tomorrow. Yeah. Fine. I thought that maybe you have a question, maybe all of you have certain questions, so I spared maybe 10 minutes.